Hi there, listeners. This is Beeb Birtles from Zoot.
Hi, this is Darryl Braithwaite.
Hi, this is Diesel.
Hi, this is Grace Knight from Eurogliders.
Hi, this is Glenn Shorrock.
G'day, folks. This is Angry Anderson from Rose Tattoo. Purple haze in my mind. Ow! Excuse me while I kiss the sky. Well, you're listening to Purple Haze, FM radio.
The song what he wrote himself. I can't get my stripe on, or my strap on. Subtitled, Every Day of My Life. 3, 4.
With every day of my life, I can truly see now where I'm going. And every day of this year, I can clearly see I've wasted any time. No time at all. Every day of my life, I've tried so hard to keep it on go. People around keep on dragging me down to the ground. Drag me down to the ground. They don't know just every day of my life, I'm slowly growing tired of excuses. And every question I raise, getting nothing but hurt and abuses from your mind. Don't mind at all. I don't mind at all. Yes, we'll get by. Ain't getting down on bended knee. Sooner or later, you discover what's in your back on your every day of my life, I can surely see now where I'm going. And with every day of this year, I can clearly see I ain't wasted any time. No time at all.
Welcome to Purple Haze.
It works better if I put my microphone on, doesn't it?
I can hear
I
now.
put everybody else's microphone on except for mine. How does that work? Welcome to Purple Haze. Till about 10 o'clock this evening, we've got an extremely special guest live
Thanks,
in
Mark.
the studio.
Thanks very much.
No, I'm getting
The
to
Purple
you in
Haze-
a second. I'll get to you in a second. One of the nicest blokes in Australian rock and roll.
It's not true.
It's, yeah, all right, I got to fib a little bit. Probably one of the best known Oz artists. I mean, how do you get into three fantastic groups in a lifetime. Beeb Birtles, welcome to Purple Haze.
Thank you, guys.
And we got you for 2 hours, so whether you like it or not, we're going to get stories and anecdotes and all sorts of things out of you this evening. To your right, we've got the very husky and horrible voice of Nick Black.
Thank you, Mark. It's always a pleasure to be a guest on your Purple Haze.
And to Beeb's left, we have the sultry, sexy voice of Bruce Hutchins.
Hello, Mark.
Hello, Bruce.
Oh, wow. Smooth operator.
Special day today, Mark.
It is. Look, how special is today? Three major things happened today. Number one, the yes vote got up.
Yes.
Number two...
No.
No. Put your head in. Number two, Australia plays in the soccer tonight to get into the World Cup, and we're going to do it. We've got to win by a goal, but we will do it. I'm confident. And number three, Beeb is here releasing his book from last night, having a chat to us. Three major things in one day.
There you go.
Nice.
It doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah.
So, as we said, Beeb, welcome to the show. And
Thanks.
this is all about you.
Great.
You've got to it. So now we'll finish.
Let's go.
That's the end of the show from here.
I'm ready.
So, Beeb, the book, you've released it last night.
Yep.
To a great audience, and I think you must have writer's cramp by now because you were selling so many copies.
Yes, I know. The line was long, wasn't it?
It was very long,
Yeah.
and there were some very fine people in that audience as well, which it just shows how much respect that you command in the music industry.
Yeah,
'cause there's some
the
brilliant
turnout
people.
was really great. We were really pleased with it.
Yeah, and so you should be.
Yeah.
The book itself, it's a great book. I've got my copy here. Every day of my life, Beeb Birtles, a memoir.
Right?
This will be part one of many copies, I'm imagining, over the years. No?
Maybe. Who knows? You never know.
So this is we're trying to play along to the author in you, Beeb. We thought,
Right,
I mean, Rick
right.
did it. Rick brought out novels,
Of course he did.
so it could be a novel in you. You just don't know.
No, I mean, never say never, you know?
No, exactly.
Have you read any of Rick's novels?
No,
Beeb?
no, I just read
Neither
his,
have I.
I read his autobiography.
Yeah.
Yep.
I thought that was good. A good read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't had a chance to read this yet, but no doubt there's got some great stories in it. I've read little bits and pieces. But, of course, it all started with you big time with Zoot,
Right.
which was what, 69, 70?
Well, it was earlier than that.
Earlier than
actually.
that?
It was more
Yeah.
65, you know?
Was it going
When,
back that far?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Are we that old?
Yes. I got a birthday coming up, actually.
Oh, well, we'll have to...
Dangerous.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's not a milestone, is it?
No, that'll be next year.
Oh.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank
We'll
you.
have to do a
Thank
big...
you.
The big 5-0, huh?
Yeah.
Right.
So what was it? I mean, a lot of Australian musicians get a chance to be in a big band at one point in their time.
Yeah.
How did you manage to get in three?
I don't know why that happened. I mean, it was just, you know, Zoot. You go from Zoot to the next thing. And,
Yeah.
well, you know, I mean, I was in that duo with Daryl Cotton
Of course,
for a year.
yeah.
Which is kind of, I view that as a stepping stone,
Yep.
you know.
And a free suit.
And some free suits, yeah. But, yeah, I don't know why that happened, really. I mean, we tried really hard in Zoot to make it overseas, and that's the thing that actually, you know, caused the band to break up.
Yeah.
As you'll read in my memoir, I say that Jeff Joseph, our manager, tried to get us signed to United Artists it was RCA in the States.
Yeah.
They were very interested in bringing Zoot and Healing Force as a package deal to the States. And Jeff Joseph approached the head of EMI at that time, a man called Ken East, and to kind of ask him, would you let Zoot out of their contract so that they can be signed to RCA?
Yeah.
And it was a flat refusal.
Little did they know. Zoot is a could have been champion. They could have beaten Little River Band to the punch. I'm sure, because the quality was there.
Right, and that's
Yeah.
we felt that too, and of course when that didn't happen, it was so disappointing to us that we decided to just split up.
Zoot was probably a little bit before their time, really, when you consider the quality of the music that you guys were playing. I mean, you just got to listen to the Zoot reunion CD.
Yeah.
Right.
and listen to how good you guys sound.
I didn't know you did anything after Zoot, Beeb.
Well, but Zoot kind of evolved over the years too, because we started off as a teeny bopper group, and we really weren't writing our own original material.
Yeah.
And then, as Rick Springfield started writing, we were starting to introduce more original material into the band. And so that was happening. And then on another level, what was happening was because we were such a teeny bopper group, music around 69 was starting to change, with bands like Black Sabbath and Deep Purple and Led Zeppelin coming in. And we thought, we've got to keep up with the times,
Yes. Yep.
So, but we still weren't writing original music. So we would take songs like Hello, Goodbye by the Beatles and Shiloh by Neil Diamond, Hurdy-Gurdy Man by Donovan, and we would heavy them up.
Yep.
Give them heavier arrangements to fit in with the style of music that was emerging from England.
Yeah.
And eventually that's how we came up with the arrangement for Eleanor Rigby.
Those, I wouldn't call it teeny, because those pop songs, to my ears, have the Just Zoot album, because that's the only thing I can go by, because you didn't record more. But those pop, they are great pop tunes.
They were good pop tunes,
I mean, the Heavy Zoot were great as well.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show that you guys were you could do pop and you could do rock and you could keep up with the times. And that's why I think Zoot had, you got to be lucky too. I'm sure Little River Band had a bit of luck in making it, but...
Well, and back then it was in the days where Australian managers and booking agencies and stuff really, they didn't know how to get an act overseas. Unless you were a band like the Bee Gees who moved to England and had their success over there.
Yeah.
But no one had really done it from Australia.
Bruce, you're saying a lot.
Yes, Mark.
I'll chuck you in the deep end. I've just got to mention something here. It's not you heavy breathing. It's actually Nick.
Oh, dear, it's my asthma.
Beeb's talking, I was going to...
Oh, God. I'm just so excited to be sitting next to him.
The show's not really that exciting. Come on. It's good, but it's not that
We're sprucing it up, yeah. Getting back to Healing Force, though, I mean, there was interbreeding between Healing Force in Mississippi, because Charlie...
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the late Charlie Tumahai.
Right, yeah, he joined Mississippi on bass with his wonderful voice. Added a lot to the group, actually. So that was a great... Actually, when you think about it, after Zoot, I mean, Zoot was mainly those four guys, but from Mississippi on, we went through a lot of changes in members. Not only Mississippi, but Little River Band as well.
Yes, yeah.
So,
well, we might play a bit more music.
Yeah.
We'll play another track. We're going to play something from Zoot. Because we're going to sort of go through...
chronologically.
That was the word I was trying to... But I was stumbling over the top of it. But chronologically. So we're going to start off with a couple of Zoot tracks, then we'll move on to Mississippi, bit of LRB, bit of Daryl thrown in as well, and all sorts of surprises along the way. Stay tuned, listeners. Beeb Birtles live in studio.
I see rainbows in the evening.
I Can Hear the Grass Grow. You're on Purple Haze right through around about 10 o'clock this evening with special guest Beeb Birtles in studio. We're going to have a chat to him throughout the evening about lots of things. But Beeb, the book, where's it available?
It's available at Dimmicks.
I was going to say, get it right.
And yes, Dimmicks. Actually, I'm doing some in-store appearances.
Yeah, we'll talk about those. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Where are you next?
Eastland on Friday at 1 o'clock. And then on Saturday, I'll be at Chadstone at 1 o'clock.
Yep.
So,
so there's your chance to get along.
Say hi.
Yeah, absolutely. Get along and say hi to Beeb.
Yeah.
$35 is the book. I think it was $34.95, whatever it happens to be. And Beeb will sign it for you, and he'll have a chat to you. It's a great read. And if you're like me and you collect music biographies, this one's got to be in your collection. So get out there and grab a copy. Nick.
Yeah.
Take it away.
Yes, Mark.
I'll put you on the spot.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to put him on the spot in a second. He just knows I'm going to.
Well, what we heard before was I Can Hear the Grass Grow.
Yeah.
Which was not recorded in Melbourne, Beeb?
No, it was recorded at Gamba Studios in Adelaide, yeah. I think that was the very, very first Zoot recording.
Right.
Alison Gross recorded at Gamba.
Yes.
As well.
Yeah.
And that was Graham Goebel.
Graham Goebel's group, that's right.
And Russ Johnson, too.
Yes, he was in that band as well, as was John Darcy.
It's all new musicians. Very incestuous.
Interlinked, isn't it?
Very incestuous. And Charlie Toomerhigh was in Healing Force, and all of a sudden he's in here.
Yeah, I know. Can't keep up, can you?
Certainly can't.
This is Mark Holden, and you're listening to 88.3 Southern FM.
Who wants to be a millionaire? I don't. And who wants uranium to spare?
Say something for me, Glenn.
I don't. Who wants a private landing field too? I don't.
More Benin for my friends.
The number one wine in the land.
All I want is you.
You don't get this popular without being this good.
Who was that?
Are you on the booze again there, Beeb? How did they pay you?
Then.
How did they pay you in Benin?
Crates of Lindemans. Crates.
Hey, he makes us smile.
Yeah.
Mr. Lindemann.
It wasn't passion pop or something like that, was it, at the time? Or
What was it like? Did you actually have a drink of it?
It was good wine.
A white, wasn't it? No.
Whatever you want.
Well, Benin Roselle was a white.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm not a drinker.
But that was, I think it was not just a radio commercial, it was a TV commercial as well.
Oh, probably would. I seem to recall it, yeah.
There you go. You still got some down in the cellar?
No. Be rotten by now.
So Zoot did a Coca-Cola ad, and then by the time you got to Little River Band, you advanced to alcohol.
Well, we graduated to the harder stuff.
He was on the grog by that point.
No, you start with pop and the heavy rock.
Right.
Yeah, the wine.
Got it.
Yeah, I've got the cocaine ad too coming up soon.
We played the Zoot Coca-Cola ad, didn't we?
We did. Yeah. I might have that here somewhere. I've got all my Zoot stuff. It might be in there. Yeah. We'll spring that one on Beeb later.
Yeah.
It was the real thing back then too. It wasn't it.
No, that's right. It was the real thing, yeah.
You guys are full of surprises, aren't you?
Oh, we're full of something.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's surprises. But
Well, and you know what I noticed last night at the book launch, Beeb? There were a few people, they'd got the book and got it autographed.
Yeah.
They were reading it, the last chapter first.
Oh, no.
Yeah, now I'm thinking, because I haven't looked at the book, I'm thinking, is that the spot where the Little River Band name thing is, or they're just reading at the back because that's what they...
Depending on where they were reading, because the last couple of things in the book are like awards and accolades and then chart positions.
Oh, so maybe they were reading that.
Maybe they were reading that.
Okay.
Know.
Maybe you instructed them to read that first.
No, I didn't.
How were the ARIA Awards? Because you got invited back, Little River Band got inducted.
Yeah, that was back in 2004.
God, that was that long ago. I remember Derek going to that and taking his...
it was already 13 years ago, if you can believe it.
Yeah, I took Derek's job here, didn't I? Wasn't he doing the show and I took his job?
Yeah, he never got keen.
You did, Mark. You told me.
He never...
But speaking of inductions...
South Australia.
South Australia is inducting me, Barry Smith, and Daryl posthumously. in a week or so time, maybe 10 days.
24th of November.
The 24th of November, so that's good. We're putting a band together. We're playing about 14 songs.
We're putting the band back together.
Yeah, so should be a lot of fun.
Where do they have it, Beeb? Where is it?
It's in the German Hall in Adelaide. It's in the city.
Okay.
As it would be in Adelaide, because everything's German in Adelaide.
Yeah. Well,
Good venue.
I was Dutch, but...
Mr. Lindeman's in the Barossa. He'd be German too, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
I should go because I'm German. Norman.
Yeah,
Norman. That's right.
I'm
Yes.
German.
Yeah.
Well, sort of. Part of me is. I don't know which part, but apparently part of me is. Probably my head.
But Ferris isn't... That's not German, is it?
No, we have a secret, Mark. My real name's not my real name.
He's got a girl's
Something different.
I've heard you call lots of things.
I know.
Sarah tells me lots of names for you.
Yes, but it's only 25 past 8. We can't say that until about 10.
No, well, we can hint at it, though. Oh, dear. All right.
Let's get lost.
We're going to play Little Roland Lost.
Oh, yeah, the first song that I ever wrote was Daryl.
Right. So this would bring back fond memories.
Yeah.
It
turned out to be a B-side to one of our singles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's have a listen to it and we'll come back and have a bit more of a chat to Beeb Birtles.
He wandered too far now. He's lost and lonely. Little Roland, all alone, 'cause he can't find his way. Wish I was home in the arms of my mom. She's the one to protect me. But here I am in the woods by myself. Won't somebody find me? I'm lost, find me. I'm lost, find me. I see a path, maybe this is the way that leads to safety. No, just a dead end leading to nowhere. Won't somebody find me? I'm lost, find me. I'm lost, find me. Little Roland, see a field eyes, little legs running wildly. Comes the nighttime, strange noises, guess he's lost forever. I'm lost, finally. 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 I'm lost, finally.
I was very tempted to just leave Nick turned off there for a while. You know, he's sort of taken over the show. He gets a bit like that.
It's a bit hard to get a word in here, Mark.
It is. You know, we'll just relax for the evening. It's fine. Nick can interview Beeb and just let it, you'll know I'll just press buttons all night. I'm getting good at that.
You shouldn't have invited me, should you?
No, see, Beeb is that important it took 3 of us to actually interview him. That's what it's all about.
Really?
Absolutely. Because Bruce had told me you get a bit out of control at times. And so we thought we better, you know, the 3 of us need to, one of us might have to hold you down at some point during the night. I don't know. We'll just see what happens. We're going to say hello to a few people who are listening in either at 88.3 Southern FM or they might be streaming on the web. And if you're overseas, and it's probably about, 5 o'clock in the morning now over there, over home?
Something like that.
So I know whenever we used to talk to you got out of bed about 4:30 to talk to us.
That's right.
Live. So, yeah, it's very early. But if you're streaming over the United States, or if you're not, you can stream it at southernfm.com.au and you can listen to Beeb live along with the dulcet tones of Bruce Hutchins, Nick Black and, of course, myself. Not so dulcet, but still anti-dulcet, whatever you want to call it. We're going to play another track very shortly, which will be a Zoot live track. And this would be... I wouldn't say it'd be one of your favourites, because it's a little bit like saying who's your favourite child, because you wouldn't have really a favourite track, I'd say. But 1 times, 2 times, 3 times 4 was a great hit for Zoot.
Yeah, it was our really very first important hit.
Yep.
Around Australia.
And it did... Well, I wasn't so much... I'm one of these guys that only really got into music, I suppose, in the 70s. But having said that, I now have gained an appreciation for 60s music more than anything else for some weird enough reason, probably his fault.
Yeah.
As I point to Bruce. Probably was your fault.
It was.
Yeah. But there is so much good music. And we were talking over dinner about the number of fantastic musicians that come out of Adelaide.
Right.
And I was trying to figure out why. It's like, I know there was a lot of...
The water.
No, there's a lot of $10 poms come over at that particular time, and they'll put into some rather unsavoury places to try and survive. And if you read Jimmy Barnes's book, that'll give you a bit more of an idea of what it was like.
Right.
And of course Swanee and all the other guys. And we were saying how many fantastic Australian bands came out of South Australia, and of course you came out of South Australia, and of course out of that was Zoot and Mississippi and LRB, but all the fantastic bands. Why do you think Adelaide sort of fostered that?
I really don't know. I mean...
The wine, Beeb, the wine.
I think it was just an interesting melting pot of European, English and Australians as well.
Yeah.
You know, I also was... put into a migrant hostel with my family when we came out from Holland.
Yeah.
There was something about Adelaide. Adelaide still holds the record for having the largest crowd to come out and see the Beatles in the world.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Hey, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was half of Adelaide's population, apparently, they said. Yeah.
And they were just lined down the streets as the Beatles drove into the city.
Yeah.
It was amazing. But yeah,
were you there yet? Were you there yet?
No. Yeah.
You were?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I got to Australia in '59, so the Beatles came later.
Yeah.
It was just a really interesting mix of people. And of course, people like me, because I couldn't speak English when we came here, but we were just all kind of thrown into school together.
Yeah.
Germans, Greeks, Italians, Australian and
Adelaide not exactly known for its
within a year you were speaking English.
Adelaide not exactly known for its nice summers.
And thanks for learning English just for the show tonight.
Thank you. Yeah. Otherwise you would be talking to me in a different language, right?
In Dutch.
Yeah.
Dutch Afrikaners? No, just Dutch.
Hello Hollanders, hoe gaat het?
Oh, I reckon it was him.
No, it wasn't me.
Well, that's what it sounded like to me anyway. We're going to say hello. Sue Knight. Hello, Sue. Sue was at the book launch last night with Beeb's memoir, Every Day of My Life. And Sue graciously brought along, you were saying, no, she didn't bring along. She had 3 scrapbooks.
Yeah, I think it was maybe 4 scrapbooks that she sent me.
Of Zoot stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so thankful for people like Sue who are lifelong music fans, who actually, at the time when they were kids, growing up, and they had obsessions with different bands and what have you, which to me was a fantastic part of the music, but they had the forethought to collect these clippings and bits and pieces of bands, and they probably don't understand at the time, we never probably did understand at the time, that in 30, 40, 50 years' time, that stuff is priceless.
Right.
It's our history. It's something that we can actually look at, touch, feel, and understand what it was like back then,
And it was actually due to my sister in Adelaide, who was the South Australian representative of the Zoot fan club, who kept all those clippings for me, scrapbooks, and now of course with Facebook, I run the Zoot page, and I try to keep it interesting by posting different clips and stuff like that, but and I haven't even exhausted my supply of stuff that I have to try and keep it interesting for the people who are members of the page.
Of the page, yeah. And, of course, if you want to join in the conversation on the Facebook page that I've got running, which is Purple Haze Talkback, just search Purple Haze Talkback on Facebook. Ask to join, and there's a couple of people in there having a chat and having a listen to the show, and you can join in with a few of the fans of Purple Haze. We're going to play another song, and then we'll come back and have a bit more of a chat to be. I'm just going to make sure I've got the right song queued up here, because this thing's got a bad habit of not doing the right thing, but I think we've got the right track now. So we'll play this one. If we're really lucky, it'll be the right track.
Okay.
Yeah.
We need some traffic. One time, two time, three times, four. Hey, 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 hey. 12 angry husbands knocking on my door. Hey, 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 hey. Accusing me of having done something that will make me run, 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 run. Why would they sit and listen? All that they want to do is christen me. One times, two times, three times, four. Hey, 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 hey. I gotta go, gotta hang around no more. Hey, 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 hey. Can't you see I've had the gun? Now they're gonna make me run, 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 run. Why would they sit and listen? All that they want to do is christen me. I didn't mean to play around with fire, but nevertheless I got burned. I won't do it again. One time, two times, three times, four. Hey, 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 hey. One times, two times, three times, four. Hey, 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 hey. One times, two times, three times, four. Hey, 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 hey. One times, two times, three times, four. Hey, 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 hey. Watch this. A little bit of power pop.
Zoot, one time, two times, three times, four. Do you actually remember the times you're on stage and you had the screaming crowds, and that's got to be fond memories for you? No?
From the boat.
Yeah. On the cruise, you mean?
No. I mean in general, when you were on stage.
Yeah.
I mean, Zoot became a fairly big band in Australia.
Right.
But I mean, would have been nothing compared to the audiences you would have played as LRB, for example.
Right. Totally different.
Yeah, I mean, you
Totally
played stadiums with LRB, and
Right.
Well, I mean, I couldn't imagine what it'd be like to play a stadium and have 50,000 plus people.
That was just one of their small crowds too.
Yeah, well, that's right.
Yeah.
It's
pretty amazing to stand up there and,
at Calder Raceway and
Calder Raceway was about 60,000 people. Yeah. So that was with Santana, Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
And they're all supporting you.
Kevin Burridge Band. And, that was great. The traffic was so bad at trying to get in that they flew us in.
Oh, that's right,
by
yeah.
helicopter.
Yeah.
Just like Woodstock.
Like a Woodstock, yeah. It's great.
He's too big. We've got to get rid of him.
That's it.
But Zoot was a different deal because we had, legions of screaming fans and, who would try and rip our clothes off and stuff like that.
So who were Little River Band's core audience in America then, Beeb? What sort of age group?
Oh, from college kids on up, really. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I think our music appealed to a very wide age group,
It did here in Australia, I think.
Yeah. So, yeah.
It just wasn't the AOR, as they call it over there, is it?
We were considered... what was the term they used to use for that? It wasn't AOR, I don't think. No, something else.
So what kind of... Because, see, even America back then, weren't they... The radio stations were very pigeonholed back then? So...
Well... Yeah. From a very early on when we toured America, there was always the AM side and the FM side of, the radio stations. But there are so many of them over there. That's the thing, And, of course, just about every town that we were in, we would go and do radio interviews and tell people that, where we were playing and newspaper articles, stuff like that. It was great. I mean, a lot of people have asked me, didn't you hate being on the road, living out of a suitcase? I actually really loved it.
Yeah.
It was never a problem for me. I was doing what I loved, and, I got to travel the world.
What about the others? Did they enjoy it as much as you?
No.
No?
No, I don't think so.
See, they only stuck together because of Beeb.
Oh.
He was the glue that held it together, you see.
Right.
Well, don't you say in your book that you were the meat between the...
Yeah, I was the meat between the sandwich, and the meat in the sandwich between Glenn Shorrock and Graham Goble.
Yeah. We'll let people read the book to find more about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is the book available... Sorry?
No, that's what's good about the book, because you really, for people... Because it's the first book by a founding member of the band.
Yeah.
I delve into the whole inner workings of Little River Band, and I'm sure that there'll be people interested in reading about that, knowing about it.
Oh, look, I'm sure there's going to be bits and pieces throughout the book that people are going to say, I never knew that.
Yeah.
And that's the reason you buy a book.
And there's also some really, really funny stories mostly from the Zoot days.
That was the real fun band, wasn't it? Not this
it was.
adult-orientated Little River Band.
Right.
Talking about Zoot as we have been, it must have been a buzz for you guys to all get back together again. What was it, about 5-6 years ago?
Yeah, 6 years ago.
And you did the cruise with Rick over in the Bahamas.
Actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and, November, yes.
And it must have been an absolute buzz because Bruce, not Bruce and I, sorry, we've talked about it since. It would have been fantastic to have seen Zoot do a round of Australia at that point because you guys were sounding fantastic.
Yeah, well, we were talking about doing that.
Yeah, I know.
But it was really funny how it all happened because obviously Rick Springfield had spoken to Darryl about it first, and then Darryl phoned me, and his phone call was, now, Beeb, before you say no to this, hear me out. How would you feel about...
you should have told him, this is a Little River Band.
Right. How would you feel about, a Zoot reunion on the Rick Springfield and Friends cruise? And I thought, wow, that'd be so much fun to do that, And it was. It was great to do that. I mean, it was a bit difficult for me, coming from Little River Band kind of thing. And I'm a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to putting music together. And it was hard even pulling rehearsals together because Rick at Springfield is so busy all the time. But that whole show, we put it together with 1.5 rehearsals. That's all we got.
And it doesn't show. It doesn't show, does it?
No.
and the band was a 5-piece because you had an additional member for the night.
Because I wasn't playing bass anymore. I said to the guys, well, I don't want to play bass. So, and Rick said, well, I'll use the bass player in my band and you can play guitar. And that's what I did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Darryl came back and said that it sounded like Zoot on steroids because it was a 5-piece.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely did.
Yeah.
Oh, we've discussed that before. How good they sound.
It had even more energy than the old band.
Oh, yeah.
Bruce, the DVD, can people still get the DVDs and that?
No, not at the moment, but plans in the future for a re-release.
Right.
Remixed, remastered.
Because it's sold out.
It's sold out in 4 months. And it's still available on
Got the T-shirt.
iTunes. So
okay.
Yeah. So people can still download it.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think Rick was selling quite a few copies over there too.
Yes, he did. Yep.
Yeah.
So getting back to Beeb's book, because we're not here to talk about Rick. We're here to talk about Beeb. Sorry, Rick. We're here to talk about Beeb and his memoir, Every Day of My Life. As we said, available at Dymocks. Beeb's got a couple of book signings coming up at, what we say, Eastland and Chadstone.
Eastland.
Yep. So make sure you get along to those. And, of course, you can subscribe to Beeb's Facebook page and you can get all the information there where Beeb is actually appearing. You can have a chat. Beeb's very social on Facebook. He'll have a chat to you and on the Zoot pages and all sorts
He
of things.
hasn't spoken to me on Facebook, though.
You're not worthy.
I'm also not on Facebook.
No, that's right. I've never seen you on Facebook, so no. But is the book available online as well, Beeb, do you know?
I don't think it is yet.
No.
But it will be eventually.
An e-book, they call it these days.
A lot of people are asking me about that.
Yeah. And what about an audio book? Is any?
Oh, I've thought a lot about that. I would actually love to do an audio book. But are people still listening to?
Oh, absolutely.
audio?
The audio
on cassette tapes.
I know, but
I could do an audition for it now. You ready?
Okay.
Mississippi, Phase 4. Harvey James, who had sailed all the way to England with us, didn't play one show with us in London.
Played with Sherbet instead.
He was a good guitarist, wasn't he?
Harvey was a great guitar player.
Yeah.
Really, really good. He had this incredible ability to control notes like, the guitar players do that with feedback from their amps. He could make that note ring forever. He was fantastic at that. He was really good. And actually, Bruce, a good example of that is in the song that I sent you, today.
Well, maybe we should play that next month.
Maybe we should play that.
I don't know about next because you're trying to get me, put the pressure on me.
No, it could be on the stick.
Is it on the stick?
No.
No,
Where is it?
I've given it to Mark. It's on the other disc.
I'll give it to you.
We were actually going to talk about Freeze next. So
let's do that.
Post Zoot.
You wake me every morning, oh, you make me every night. Everything we do, you make it seem alright. Find it hard to leave you every time I go. How I stay away from you, I'll never know. Just nothing there without you, girl, without you.
I be, could I be without you, girl, without you? I searched everywhere, but there's just nothing there without you, girl, without you. You wake me every morning, oh, you make me every night. Everything we do, you make it seem alright. I find it hard to leave you. Every time I go, I will stay away from you, I'll never know.
Mississippi, where in the world? What a great track.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
We've unearthed a
one of my
a
favourites.
classic. Yeah.
The first song I ever co-wrote with Graham.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's we were discussing that. That's got the beginnings of LRB there. Those harmonies were magnificent, and the guitars.
Right.
And the Glenn Shorrock imitator was excellent.
Yeah.
And what a great guitarist Harvey James was.
Yeah, that was Harvey
absolutely.
playing all that stuff. Yeah.
So did he leave Mississippi to join Sherbet? Is that how?
No.
No.
He
Something in between.
Ariel, I think.
Ariel.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
He joined Ariel. Yeah. But he was fantastic.
Yeah. We've got another track we want to play. We sort of stuck that one in because we were getting anxious to play it, but we sort of skipped one, but we're going to go back to it.
We were talking about when Zoot split and what was the next chapter after that.
Yeah, the freeze year, yeah.
So we've...
funny story about that.
Yeah, tell us.
We, once again, it's in my book, but when Zoot split up, Daryl and I were approached by two guys from an advertising agency, and they wanted to put a band together because they had a client, Freeze Brothers, that they wanted to get a younger band to wear their suits to get to a younger target audience, right? So these guys sat us down and said, we've got this idea to put a band together. We'd like to call it Deep Freeze. But the clincher is that every member in the group has to be named after a cloth, a material. So Daryl Cotton,
hello,
he was fine, you know.
And Beeb Teflon.
And then they said, well, we want to call you Terry Lane after the fabric Terry Lane, you know, and your brother Crimp. So and Daryl and I looked at each other, and it's like, are you kidding? We've just been through Think Pink, Think Zoot, and you want to do this to us? And we said, look, if you do that, we'll get laughed out of the music industry. And so we promptly talked them into doing a duo. And, of course, that duo became just simply Freeze.
Freeze with an I.
With an I, that's right, F-R-E-Is.
But, I mean, that just goes to show how much the guys knew. And this is 72, is that right, B?
Yeah,
72. I mean, only dags were wearing suits. It was the height of the hippie stuff in Australia, you know.
Freeze were pretty big. They were at Myer.
Were they?
And Daryl mentioned a story to me that they gave you, I think, a panel van or a station wagon.
Yeah, well, the reason Daryl and I were keen to do this is because, you know, Zoot really didn't make any money. And so, and here, you know, these people were wanting to put us on a wage, give us a station wagon, a wardrobe full of suits, and, you know, tape recorder for our pre-recorded music because, you know, we performed to pre-recorded music. And, you know, it was an opportunity for a change to make some money.
I do have a question without notice.
Okay.
That somebody has put up on Facebook.
Yeah.
Frank, who follows Purple Haze.
Okay.
Frank Calabrese, I think is pronounced his last name, Calabrese. I'm sorry, Frank, if I got that wrong, but he says, asks Beeb about the tape reel which came off the tape recording during a live Freeze performance.
Yeah, that happened too. So Jeff Joseph, our manager, continued on as our manager in Freeze, and he was in charge of the tape recorder. Well, one day he didn't put the spools on it properly.
Oh, no.
Because the tape went... And rolling.
You might have to explain what a tape recorder is for our listeners.
Our audience will know that.
Okay.
But getting back to this station wagon, wasn't there an accident on the day that you picked up the car from the PR company? The advertising? There wasn't. I thought there was a...
No. Oh. I don't remember an accident. The accident was the Zoot car.
Right.
That got smashed
maybe
up.
I've got confused.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But the station wagon had caricatures of our faces painted on the side of the car. So it was funny.
And you released a whole album too.
Just laughing.
Something's got Donna's attention out there.
Yeah, I know.
So it wasn't a Holden Sandman, it was just a regular station
Sandman's were after that, mate.
Yeah,
Come
76.
Wagon.
Did LRB have a station wagon?
This would have been a wagon, sounds like. Would have had curtains.
Exactly.
Possibly
with
a bubble
mural.
window.
With a mural.
Yeah.
Might have had a couple of fluffy dice hanging off the mirror.
Yeah.
Or...
Shag pile carpet.
Sorry, what?
Shag pile carpet.
That. Yeah, sorry. I thought that's what you said.
So what happened to Freeze?
Well, actually, I was going to tell you about how we recorded our backing tapes, because we did songs like At the Zoo by Simon and Garfunkel and Cinnamon Girl by Neil Young. But Daryl and I were just playing acoustic guitar, so we needed something, in the form of a band behind us. And we approached a group called The Cycle, who were playing at the Tottenham Hotel in Sunshine. And Cycle, the lead guitarist in Cycle was David Briggs. And Jeff Cox on drums. and all these
two
people.
LRB alumni there, yeah.
And we went into TCS, Studio 9, and recorded all our backing tapes. Every song had a count in, so that Daryl and I knew exactly when to start strumming along. And that's how we went around. We played in places like Myers and Grace Brothers. And
So you'd go into Myers or Grace Brothers and you'd press play on the tape recorder, would you? And then
that was Jeff's job.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Right. Yeah. And you'd play along to it.
And we'd play along to it and sing live to it, because we had our PA. And, And then while we were
your suits,
and we were kind of the attraction to get people to stop and check out the models walking on the catwalk, showing off their free suits. Not free, I said freeze.
Freeze.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's play a track from Freeze. This is Friend. This is a great track, so let's get a bit of Freeze.
I'm glad you're not...
Yourself together through all kinds of weather, for tomorrow you may not be here. And though you're angry at today, you might say it's okay, but I need you here. It's been so long now, and I just don't know how I'd be on my own. But I look towards the future and do anything to suit you. That you must know. You've been my best friend, and it seems our friendship ain't never gonna end. Through all kinds of weather, we'll be together. It's good to have you as my best friend. together through all kinds of weather. For tomorrow you may not be. And though you're angry at today, you might say it's okay, but I need you here. It's been 5 years now since you've been my best friend, and it seems our friendship ain't never gonna end. Through all kinds of weather, we'll be together. It's good to have you as my best friend.
Double click.
We're back.
We're back live with Bruce Hutchins, Nick Black, and Beeb Birtles. And, of course, me. But you all know who I am. And we got Beeb through around about 10 o'clock at great expense to the management. We got Beeb along here this evening. Cost us a fortune, but that's what we just
cost us $35 even.
And that's the price of what, Nick?
That's the price of every day of my life.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The Beeb Birtles, what do we call it? A memoir, autobiography?
Yeah, I've called it a memoir.
It's
a memoir. It's
okay.
How do you say it?
A memoir.
Well, I like that.
There's a Dutch accent or something there.
No, the memoir.
Or American accent.
It's my my remembrances of, my life kind of thing.
Beeb, now, we had the yes vote today. Did you ever, when you were a young kid, did you ever stick your finger in a dike?
No, I didn't. I didn't actually. I wasn't that boy.
Okay. No. Were there dikes around how old were you when you left Holland, the family?
I was 10 years old.
Okay, so you'd have memories.
Yeah. Actually, the first chapter in the book is about my life growing up in Amsterdam.
Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting.
We just had a parental warning here just at the moment. As anybody under the age of 18 shouldn't be listening.
It's after 9 o'clock. Now,
well, that's all right. Go for it.
Yeah.
The memoir's a little different because you've spoken to many people as well who also contribute, which makes for a very interesting read.
Exactly. I decided to not just let it be me doing all the talking. So when I got to a stage where I was a little bit hazy or couldn't remember something, I'd reach out to
not purple hazy, I hope.
Not purple hazy, no. And and I'd say, what do you remember about this happening? Back then, all those years ago, kind of thing. And I've had quite a lot of people actually contribute to my book. So you don't always get it from my perspective. You get it from somebody else's perspective, which I think makes for more interesting reading.
I think it's important to get other people's views.
More journalistic rigour there.
Yes.
Beeb?
Something like that, yes.
I think it's important to get stories from other people's... It's the same with songwriting, because when you write a song, you've got a certain meaning to the song, but you're playing it for an audience, and it can mean something entirely different to an audience.
Of course.
So therefore, by getting other people's opinions in your book, I think that's a clever thing to do. It just... it adds another dimension to the story.
It did. And as a matter of fact, when I... signed with Brolga Publishing, that's exactly what they zoomed in on. That's the thing that they liked about my book.
We're going to play another track very shortly, but I do need to warn studio members now that it's after 9 o'clock that we will be doing a repeat of the Zoot naked bum shot on the back of the book later on in the studio.
Okay.
Isn't it good it's not a TV show?
Yes, exactly.
We'll describe it to you as it happens, but Bruce and I could actually just use our heads. It wouldn't matter. They look the same.
Yeah, the sun does shine off mine, that's for sure.
Oh, dear. Okay, the show's getting out of hand now. It might be time to play. Now, this is one of my favourite LRB songs. This is a live version. And Beeb, your memories of Curiosity Killed the Cat.
Yeah, well, actually, we were living in London at the time, and I was sharing a house with Graham Goebel and his wife, Narelle, at the time. He was married to Narelle back then. And Narelle adopted this little kitten, and one day I was sitting in the lounge room and just playing my acoustic guitar, and the little kitten was scampering around, and for some reason I thought about the proverb, you know, curiosity killed the cat, and that's what got me going on that song.
When you write your music, is it something you really have to work on, or is it something that sort of comes easy for you?
Well, Donna will tell you I drive her nuts because I sit around and just play and play and play and play until I stumble onto something that sticks, you know. Yep. And that's usually a chord, what I think is an interesting chord progression or a groove or something.
Not necessarily what she agrees with, is that right?
Yeah, well, by this time she's sick of hearing it all.
But she's stuck by you. She's there looking,
looking beautiful as ever. Oh. Anyway, and then, you know, I find that melodies come very easily to me if I find something that I'm really digging. And then, you know, the words are always a struggle because you want to say it in just the right way. And so you can labour over.
You need somebody like Van Dyke Parks, maybe.
Yeah, I know. Or Bernie Taupin.
Yeah.
Well, Bernie, yeah. Let's have a listen to this. This is LRB live. Curiosity killed the cat.
Sometimes I think I'm just a crazy cat running around, don't know where it's at, getting confused with my way of life. That's when you say, now you cut that jive right now. Right now. That keeps me hanging all night and day. Surprisingly, again I hear you say, guess what? Curiosity killed the cat. I'm telling you, I know where it's at. Love is everywhere to be found. Open your eyes and look around. By surprise, I like your style, so give me your advice. Send me the truth, and I'll always be singing a song with you in harmony. That's right. That's right. Curiosity killed the cat. I'm telling you, I know where it's at. Love is everywhere to be found. Open your eyes and look around. Curiosity killed the cat. Yeah, I'm telling you, I know where it's at. Yes, I do. Love is everywhere to be found. Open your eyes and look around.
And to me, the closest thing to cough medicine you could ever drink.
I've never had one.
It always reminded me, you know that cherry cough medicine you used to get as a kid?
Yes.
Dr. Pepper reminds me of that.
Mm-hmm.
I've never liked Dr. But, however, a great tune.
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't sound too bad.
You've got the Benines in the cellar and you've got the Dr. Peppers in the cellar,
Yeah,
in
right.
Tennessee, yeah. Do you remember recording that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
do.
God.
Yeah,
Wow, you remember everything.
Yeah.
Well done.
I have a good memory.
Beeb Birtles.
I just wrote a book.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when did you start writing the book, incidentally? It wasn't that long ago.
Well, the last time I was here with Glenn and Graham, we were doing the Countdown Spectacular around Australia. And I went home and decided that if I didn't start putting my thoughts down, maybe I would start forgetting things. So I started it in early 2008, and I opened a Word document and really didn't stop writing for about 6 months. And it just all came flooding back to me, you know. And then since then, I've, like I was telling you before, I was reaching out to different people and, had them contribute to it.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
And
now, Maiden Guitars gave you a very special gift the other day.
Oh, my God.
How good was that?
This thing. That was fantastic. I really wasn't expecting that.
What a beautiful instrument. I saw you put the photos up on Facebook and I thought, what an absolutely stunning instrument.
Yeah. Well, the guys from Maiden, I do a little bit of work for Maiden in Nashville.
Okay.
And two of the guys came out last May, Andy and Mark. And I drove them around everywhere and where they needed to go. We had some events to do, And I was telling them that, the only guitar that I don't have is a 12-string guitar. And so, Andy is actually the master luthier.
Yes.
In the Maiden Custom Shop. And he said, I'll build you one. And so when I went, I actually drove out to Maiden the other day because they were giving me a loaner guitar to take to Adelaide with me.
Okay.
And Neville Kitchen, the owner of the company, pulled me aside and he said, Beeb, come in here, I've got something for you. And he opened the case and showed me this beautiful left-handed 12-string guitar that is to die for. It's just amazing.
And, of course, they are the premier guitar makers.
Yeah.
Not just in Australia now, but around the world. They're known around the world.
Yeah, they're really starting to make a name for themselves in America now because of their pickup systems that are just phenomenal. And a lot of artists over there, well-known artists, will play Maiden guitars because of that.
Yeah.
And, of course, they're unique to Australia because they're made from Australian timbers.
Yeah.
And, they're great. And the fact that, as far back as Freeze, Daryl Cotton and I were playing Maiden guitars, and then, of course, all through the Little River Band years, Maiden guitars were a big supporter of Little River Band.
That's great, yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Certainly a beautiful instrument. As I said, we saw the photos up on Facebook, but they were stunning instruments.
Will you be taking that to Adelaide? Or...
No,
it won't.
But I will be taking it to the States.
Now, you're going to have to make sure you put it in a pretty good road case because I've seen some horror stories about guitars.
Maiden have new cases now that are pretty much
bulletproof,
indestructible.
Yeah. I don't know, if you're travelling on Virgin, they could still do it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah, I know. I only ever had one guitar smashed.
Yep.
By an airline.
Oh.
So I was lucky, but...
I thought you were going to say by Peter Townsend.
Right.
Now, in the news recently with Midnight Oil coming back into the fold and doing some concerts around the world, we, of course, heard that Jim Mahaney fell off stage and did a tendon, didn't he?
No, hamstring.
Was a hemi off the bone.
Yep.
Must be a painful injury. Did you ever fall off the stage or have any accidents on stage at all?
The only accident I had is that Wayne Nelson, the bass player, and I went to play racquetball in the States one day, and I wasn't wearing the right shoes at the time, and my ankle went over, and I sprained my ankle, and I had to finish the rest of the tour with my foot in the cast.
Is that right?
My lower leg.
Well, it's probably not as bad as James Rain with his two arms in plaster when he had that car crash, wasn't it?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
The first time I saw Australian Crawl on Countdown, James Rain
was in a full top car.
He got hit by a car.
Yeah, that's right.
Had an experience bizarre. Well, that's what the song Indisposed is about.
Oh, is it?
It is.
Oh, wow. I never knew that.
Yeah. He got hit by a car.
Down on Peninsula.
Peninsula.
Rah, rah.
glad to see that he's on his way.
That's right.
That's it.
All right, well, we're not here to promote Australian Crawl, but still, we're here to promote Beeb's book, which is
Every Day of My Life.
Oh, well, I was waiting for somebody else, but the man himself, that's fantastic. Thank you.
Let me tell you a story about that.
Yes, please.
So I'm writing the book for years. Quite a few years I was writing. And through those years, I'm thinking, what am I going to call this thing? You know, I couldn't think of the right title. And when Daryl Cotton passed away in, 5 years ago,
yep.
Bruce Hutchins and I became friends over the phone. And in one of our phone calls, I said to him, you know, I've been writing this book and I just don't know what to call it, you know. And right off the top of his head, he said, I know what you need to call it. I said, what? He said, Every Day of My Life. Oh, I had to smack myself in the face and say, why couldn't you think of that?
Hang on, I'm going to...
Yeah. Why, Beeb?
You know?
Bruce deserves 50% of the royalties at least for that one.
I had a plan B, though. There was a plan B, Nick.
What was the plan B? Bruce,
I haven't told you about it. You ready? Yeah. Hey, Pinky.
Oh, great.
That's a good one too, Bruce.
That'll be part 2.
Yeah, right.
It'll be memoirs I've wanted to forget.
Right. Yeah.
But can't.
Could have been Little Beeb Lost as well.
So we could have a competition now on what the next memoir should be.
Yeah.
Don't forget to grab yourself a copy of this. This is a great book, great read. As I said, if you're a collector of particularly Australian rock memorabilia or books or biographies.
Yeah.
This is a great read. Every Day of My Life, Beeb Birtles, a memoir. As we said, you'll be able to get it in all the good bookstores, and at some point, of course, it will be available online.
And a book signing.
And a book signing, of course, at Eastland coming up on
Friday.
Yeah. And in Chadstone on Saturday.
Yeah, and they're both at 1 o'clock.
At 1 o'clock, so get along. Chadstone's a big place. Do you know roughly where you are in Chadstone?
People keep telling us that, how much it's grown.
Huge.
It is huge, yeah. I think it is.
Yeah.
But it's Dimmick's there, isn't it?
Oh, you'll be at the Dimmick's bookstore?
Yeah.
Oh, well, they'll find that. All right, that's fine. So it's at the Dimmick's bookstore, probably in Eastland as well, of course.
Yes.
And at Chadstone. So, so it's great to see them getting behind the book, which is fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's great. And I'm looking forward to seeing all the people come along.
So what we want you to do, we want you to actually get your camera phones out. When you're at any particular bookstore and you see Beeb's book, we want you to get a photo and put it up on Beeb's page, because you'll find Beeb at Beeb Birtles on Facebook. Join his page and you'll see the advertising there for Every Day of My Life. So we want you to go to your bookstore. When you see a copy of the book, take a photo of it and post it up there. I'm sure Beeb would love to see copies of that.
Yeah, it would be great.
Some photos of his book, see how far and wide it's getting out there.
And the people may also not know that I actually run a Zoot Facebook page.
Yep.
And that page is amazing, you know. I have over 2,600 members now.
That's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're not Russian bots, I hope.
No.
You never know these days.
And some people...
You're not one of them.
Some people post some really funny stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing. And so... And I'm just doing it for the reason that, you know, people going back to those days when they were growing up and hearing our music and, you know, maybe coming along and seeing, because they were all dancers back then. There was no alcohol, but it was just good fun and good music, you know.
Well, it's good you've done that, because with the internet, people, you know, new generations of people find things and they're so easy to play. So you're doing them a favour as well. So.
Yeah, I'm taking them back to, you know, the days when they were growing up.
Look, I think we all like a bit of a trip back in time. We all like to reminisce. Another song.
Especially when you get to my age.
Could have been called that, but no.
Right.
But that's right. It's we quite often discuss when we've talked about people putting out CDs or records, as we prefer vinyl.
Yeah.
Because you can actually read the story. And I mean, as we get older, our eyes are getting worse. We actually need the big print of the record. But it's great getting the story. You pull out the gatefold and you got the words and you got a bit of a write up about the person who's singing and you actually get to hold something as opposed to downloading it off the internet.
Right.
Which is disposable. I mean, if you don't like, get it off your computer and you never see it again. You know.
Yeah, that's what I prefer, the downloads.
Do you?
Oh, they're easy. They're
Right,
easy.
right.
And they're cheap.
Yeah.
Be gone. Be gone.
Now, look, there's one thing I want, just in case listeners don't know, that Little River Band were the first Australian musical artists to have sustained success overseas. So he's a pioneer in that fact. And
Absolutely.
also, you're talking about reminiscing. What is it, B? Reminiscing is like the seventh most played song ever on American radio. Something
or something,
something
It's
something ridiculous.
It's received over 5 million airplays
Incredible,
in
isn't
the
it?
United States alone.
Yeah, and it's top 100, top 50 or something like that out of something
well,
incredible.
You might know that better than me. I don't know.
Yeah. Graham will know it best.
Yes, of course you will. Yeah.
We've also got reminiscing there if you want to stick it on. I don't know if people
No, we'll-
I love that song.
We've got
I love that song.
a set track list here, and we're not going to deviate.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So otherwise, Bruce will whip me.
Yeah.
Actually, thinking about that, I might deviate.
Whip it good.
But
Southern FM. The sounds of the Bayside.
Sounds of the Bayside, Southern FM. Purple Haze right through till 10 o'clock this evening. And, of course, we've got Zoot / Mississippi. I was going to say something else then. Just about,
Sounded like Dizzy Miss Lizzie.
it was something like that. And / LRB.
And you haven't mentioned Birtles Shorikan Gobel.
He's a soccer player from Yugoslavia.
He was the one you never mentioned.
He was the brother they kept in the cupboard. Oh, dear.
When we did the BSG things, Glenn said, BSG? He said, that sounds like MSG.
Oh, dear. Well, look, we're going to play another track. What are we playing, Bruce?
We're playing a song called I'm Coming Home, penned by...
Oh, yeah, I remember this one.
Well,
this was a big hit. Big hit.
Yeah, big hit.
It is.
It
Yeah,
was,
this is a
yeah.
great song. So let's
Saw it on the Don Lane show.
Let's
Yes.
go,
Yeah.
Let's go to the track.
I'm coming home, so take my picture off the wall. I'm coming home, I've had enough of being alone. Dad, I'll see you soon. Don't keep me talking on the phone. You're wasting time. I've gotta move. I'm going home. Since I've been away, it gets harder every day. I really have a lot to learn. She loved me at the start, and she left and broke my heart. To my home I will return. Now I will come to you, back to the only friends I know. You understand, your love is true. I'm coming home. Since I've been away, it gets harder every day. I really have a lot to learn. She loved me at the start, and she left and broke my heart. To my home I will return. Now I will come to you, so take my picture off the wall. You understand, I've had enough. I'm coming home.
How'd that sneak in?
It was Daryl.
It was, I tell you, it is. He's spooking us. Well, I'll have to sort that out in a second. How good is that track? But you were saying that that's probably the track that you've been asked the most about.
Yeah, I had a lot of people write letters to me. Back in those days, there was no email, and they'd write letters to me and telling me how much the song meant to them, things that were going on in their families and stuff like that. And that's the magic of songs, It's like when you write a lyric and other people's interpretations of it. It's whatever, however it means to them,
But I don't let it get to me.
Okay, well, that's good.
Well, sorry.
Remind me again why I invited Nick to come on the show.
To annoy Beeb, that's why.
It's working.
Don't worry, Nick. Help is on its way.
Oh, Jesus. Well, let me tell you, every day of my life, I look forward to...
Oh, God, it's 9:30.
Take it easy on me, Nick.
Hey, Beeb, you know what?
What?
Love is a feeling.
Oh, it is.
No.
Yeah.
Love is a bridge.
Especially today.
Yeah, I told Emma that. Better stop, huh?
You're a sick man, Nick. You're a sick man.
Are you just learning that, B? We've known it for a long time.
Now,
it took you to come out to Australia to realise that.
Yeah,
now, B,
exactly.
in 1978, Daryl Cotton returned to Australia.
Yeah.
And you helped him put a demo together, I believe, which might have been the next song that we're going to play.
Okay.
So, did you co-write that, or did you co-produce it? Certainly sang it.
I didn't co-write it. I co-produced it with Daryl, yeah.
And Russell Hitchcock was
sang
involved with that,
yeah,
too.
Yeah, he sang harmonies on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I liked a lot about early Australian music was how everybody sort of pitched in and helped each other.
Yeah.
It doesn't really happen so much today. It's a logistical and a legal nightmare now. But back then, if you wanted to get somebody else on your side, even though they were on a different label, it didn't seem to be that difficult to get them to come across and do something with you. It was fabulous.
Yeah, this is where Metropolis or AAV was such a magical place because, there were sometimes more than a few acts were recording at the same time, and if you needed something and somebody was walking past the door, you'd grab him and drag him into the studio. Hey, can you play this or can you sing this? And that studio had such a great family feel.
Yeah.
That was our Abbey Road, wasn't it? Melbourne's Abbey Road.
Yes, it was.
Yep,
totally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to play a track. This is the track that Bruce was alluding to, and this is from an album called The Best Bits.
Correct.
Yeah.
And this is Don't Let It Get to You.
Daryl Cotton.
Sky, you let your heart get carried away. You discover in the morning light that it just doesn't happen that way. Don't let it get to you in the morning. Don't let it get to you. Don't let it get to you. And though you feel you're only wasting time, it doesn't have to mean that it's goodbye. hold you tight, do my best to make you forget. Oh, don't let it get to you in the morning. Don't let it get to you. Don't let it get to you in the morning. Don't let it get to you. Don't let it get to you. Don't let it get to you.
Don't let it get to you, and it was a bit spooky here because initially before we didn't actually ask that track to start playing. I don't know, something's playing tricks on me, but anyway, Beeb, tell me about Driven by Dreams.
Driven by Dreams was the first solo CD I did.
Yeah.
When I was living in Nashville, I had a partnership. I still have the partnership with a guy called Bill Como, who's an ex-LA musician, keyboard player. And I went to his studio and played him some of the songs, and we decided that we were going to start working towards my first ever solo CD, and that's where Driven by Dreams came on. The actual song itself, Driven by Dreams, is kind of like, it's almost like an autobiography in a song. It's the lyrics in it talk about how I started off as a young man and blah, 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 and then gaining success and, that kind of thing. It's a great track, though. It's one of my favourites on the album.
Well, let's entice you with one of your favourites because we're going to play it right now.
Oh, good.
I think too much about what lies ahead of me. The more the doors stay closed, the more I want to find a way. It's just the desperation of a restless mind and lack of confidence I've lost somewhere in time. But to a dying world, I have so much more to say. The crest of the wave, year after year. And though my life came crashing down, or so it seems, rather cramp your style. 'Cause when she wants, she'll let you know. The truth is all the while you're heading for trouble, trouble, trouble. Like you've never seen before. Think this is love, you see double. You better get out of here. She only thinks to please herself. She's got a one-track mind. Another trophy on the shelf. If this is love, you're blind. You're heading for trouble, trouble, trouble. Like you've never seen before. Think this is love, you see double. Better get out of here. You better run. You better come to your senses. Never give up till she wraps you around, round, round. Think you're the one. Don't leave yourself defenseless. 'Cause she will bring you down. She never waits for you to call. Always the first to move. No need to ask, she takes it all. She's got a point to prove. She's nothing but trouble, trouble, trouble. Like you've never seen before. This is love, you see double. Better get out of here. You better run. You better come to your senses. Never give up till she wraps you around, round, round. Think you're the one. Don't leave yourself defenseless. 'Cause she will bring you down. Relentless. She doesn't ask, she takes it all. Relentless. She'll bring you down, she'll make you fall. Relentless.
Beeb Birtles solo, which I was unaware of.
Oh, really?
Only
I
a-
thought Bruce would have told you.
No, Bruce
He
doesn't.
doesn't listen to me.
Well,
Yeah.
Bruce doesn't tell me a lot of things.
Yeah, that's the first track of my solo CD, Driven by Dreams.
Which
A
is
song called,
available.
Relentless.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Beeb, I'm talking over you, just
That's
like my
okay.
wife. Available on iTunes to download.
Yes, that's true.
And,
That's right. You
And will I do it, or
Go on.
do yourself a favour and go to iTunes and download it, as Molly would say.
Right.
So that's where I was going with that.
You've got the same hairstyle as Molly too. I know.
Yeah.
But no hat.
Talking of Molly, your memories of being on Countdown.
Oh, we were on Countdown a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because we released so many singles, especially with Little River Band. So we were on there a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Was it, of course, it was the old ABC studios over here at Ripponlea.
Yes.
Which are about to be demolished, incidentally. You don't really know that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The studios where it was all done.
Apartments, is it?
Oh, more than likely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's about I think they closed it it's only literally a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
That they did the last thing in there and it's been sold up. And
where have they moved to?
I don't know.
They're they're in Docklands.
Oh,
Yeah,
is that
where-
where they are?
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Yeah. So another bit of our music history about to go. But
And Mark, there's a quote from Molly on the front of the...
there is. I should probably read that in my my radio voice. Beeb Birtles is a true legend of Australian music. He was in Zoot when I got to know him in the 60s, and then he blazed a trail for other Aussie acts as a key part of Little River Band. What a story.
Molly
Meldrum.
Yeah.
Oh, he even read it, did he, Beeb?
I don't know whether he read it, but he allowed me to use
I
that
did.
quote, which was nice.
I didn't know he could even read, Beeb.
Molly certainly is a legend of Australian music. And look, there's been a lot of people along the way that have really helped Australian music. And I'd say, Molly's obviously the king of them, but Donny Sutherland would be another one.
I love Donny's
Donny,
show.
yeah. And Donny's on Facebook. I started a Facebook page for him as well, but he's actually on Facebook.
And Ray Burgess.
I was just about to mention Ray with Flashes. And there was, what was there's the late night one?
Night Moves.
Night Moves,
yeah.
Lee Simon, yeah.
And of course, we're talking Ray
too.
Burgess, and of course, you're on Ray's show tomorrow, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I'm doing a phone interview with him.
In Sydney.
Yes, because Ray's in Sydney on 2NBC.
Right.
And he does his show, I think, between about 2 and 4 o'clock. So
2 o'clock.
Right.
Yeah, so you're on about 2-ish, I think.
Yeah.
So if you want to hear Beeb again, if you haven't had enough of him tonight, 2 hours of Beeb, well, you're going to hear him again tomorrow because I know 2NBC do stream their show. I shouldn't, I'll probably get into trouble for promoting it.
You blame me.
They're not in Melbourne, it's fine.
You can blame me.
I don't know, Mark.
So no, it's if you haven't had enough of Beeb Birtles tonight, you can get a little bit more in tomorrow afternoon with the great Ray Burgess as well. So.
Yeah, is it too much Beeb is not enough Beeb? As somebody would say. I think it was Graham, was it, or Glenn?
I don't know.
All of a sudden, we've only got 10 minutes to go, and all of a sudden it sounds like it's too long. It's just...
Well, there's one more song that you're going to play a little later. There is one more song,
and this was actually the single from your album, I believe.
No.
No? It wasn't?
Revolving Door.
No, sorry, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, tell us about Revolving
What happened
Door.
to the songs I gave you?
It wasn't, the Revolving Door wasn't on Driven by Dreams.
No, I know that, but I'm talking about, you asked me to send you some songs that were influences in my life. What happened?
We haven't done those.
We didn't get to that. That was his idea.
We've talked too much. We will have time to play one.
Okay.
So do we have that?
No.
Oh, I'll find something on here for sure.
Okay.
People tell me during this next
It could be the Animals.
Could be.
Could be.
Mate, the Animals are actually in here interviewing
Could be
Beeb.
the Beach Boys.
The Animals are in here now interviewing Beeb. That's what... Let's play this track, and then we're going to find out... We're going to play one of Beeb's favourite tracks that really influenced him, all right? So, is that fair? Sounds fair to me.
Yeah, it's very fair.
Dry. Your view of the open sky, you can kiss it all goodbye to the wind. You've milked it for all these years with no one to interfere, and you claim you'll be the last man here till the end. My friend, I've got news for you. Don't let that revolving door spit you out across the floor and leave you scrambling for more clouds. There's always room for reasonable doubt, so don't let that revolving door hit your ass on your way out. Gift of inheritance has cost you the price of friends, and you know it all depends on the song. Court action is guaranteed when driven by fear and greed. And you've had so many mouths to feed for so long, but it's wrong. I've got news for you. Don't let that revolving door spit you out across the floor and leave you scrambling for more clout. There's always room for reasonable doubt, so don't let that revolving door hit your ass on your way out. You say you keep the name alive, pulling the wool down over their eyes. You speak of toiling sweat and blood, dragging the name down through the mud. I've got news for you. Don't let that revolving door spit you out across the floor and leave you scrambling for more clout. There's always room for reasonable doubt, so don't let that revolving door hit your ass on your way out. No, don't let that revolving door hit your ass on your way out. No, no. Revolving door.
The book is Every Day of My Life. Beeb Birtles live in studio. We've come to the end of the evening. Beeb, thank you very much for coming in.
It went very quick.
It did. It was. We were having a lot of fun, a lot of laughs, and it was the way we loved the show.
Yeah, good.
Every Day of My Life available, of course, Dimmick's Books. And every good bookstore basically should have this. If they don't have it when you walk in, tell them to get it on the shelf. And don't forget, we want those photos of where you found the books up on Beeb's Facebook page. So you can get hold of Beeb on Facebook. Of course, you're at Eastland on Friday, 1 o'clock. You're also at Chadstone, 1 o'clock. Dimmick's Bookstores. You can buy the book, $35. Get a book signing as well. Say hi to Beeb. Adelaide.
And November 24th at the German Hall or German Club with your band, with Barry Smith.
With Barry Smith doing the vocals, yes. Yeah, that's going to be a great gig. Can't wait for that one.
Yep.
And tickets still available, I believe.
I believe so, yes.
So if you Google South Australian Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the website will pop up.
It'll be a top night.
And all the details will be there.
Will be a top night.
Very good.
So, Beeb, thanks very much, mate. Thanks for coming in. All this way from the US to come just for us this evening. I really do feel quite chuffed about that. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I can carry on now because you've actually been on my show now. I've been talking about that for years, and you're actually here. You've made it. So, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
You've made an old man happy.
Thanks.
Yes, and now
thanks for having me.
Yes, you've been a listener now. You don't have to listen anymore.
So thank also to Nick Black for coming in and helping us be a nuisance on the show. Bruce Hutchins, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark,
and
for having me.
Thank you to Donna outside who's been sleeping through the show. Thank you very much.
Hey, Mark, you're going to play one of Beeb's favourite songs.
Yes, I hope so. I hope this works.
Yeah, this was a big influence on me when I heard this. I think this is one of the greatest blues tracks ever, from Paul Butterfield's Better Days.
Okay, and this really influenced your career, so we're going to go out on this track.
Okay.
So good night, everybody. Play safe, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Thank you very much.
Good night.
went off with someone else. Broke my baby's heart, went off with someone else. But it's too bad, too sad. I can't blame nobody but myself. Now my baby won't stop crying. Yes, I'll be her boy. My baby won't stop crying. Yes, I'll be her boy. I will turn her tears of sorrow to happy tears of joy. Hey, honey, there's no love like my love to fix your heart again. There's no love like my love to fix your heart again. Remove your sorrow or your heartbreak pain. Broke my baby's heart, made love to someone else. Yes, I did. Broke my baby's heart, made love to someone else. Well, it's too bad, too sad. I can't blame nobody but myself.